Hello everyone, good morning. So again, my name is Ermame Mago and I will be discussing about the bereiter-engelmann curricular model. Now first, let us go through our proponents. Now this is Carl Edward Bereiter. He was born in 1930 and he was known for his research into knowledge building. He was also an American education researcher and professor and one of the founders and leading researchers of the Institute for Knowledge, Innovation and Technology, or IKIT. He was also profiled in 50 modern thinkers of education, along with those of Jean Piaget, Lev Vygotsky, Howard Gardner, and others. Okay. Next, we have here Siegfried Engelmann. Siegfried Engelmann was born in 1931 to 2019. He was a research associate at the Institute for Research on Exceptional Children at the University of Illinois, and he was also an American educationalist who co-developed the approach to instruction termed direct instruction. So the most vigorous continuing debates in elementary education is over which teaching method produces the best results. Is it teacher-directed learning, where the teacher conveys knowledge to his or her students, or is it student-directed learning, where the teacher encourages students to construct meaning from their own individual learning experiences? So although a considerable body of research shows student-directed learning is ineffective, the debate rages on because many educators, and especially teachers of educators, choose to ignore the research. So Siegfried Engelmann has been one of the key participants in this debate over the years and a major contributor to its resolution. He first became interested in how children acquire knowledge when he was a research director for an advertising agency, trying to understand more about the learning process. Now, pursuing this interest, he quit the advertising business in 1964 and became senior educational specialist at the University of Illinois. So there, his research into the effectiveness of different teaching methods in the education of underprivileged children led him to develop the direct instruction method of teaching. Now, let's go here with our general information of the bereiter-engelmann approach. So both of them collaborated and they opened a program for culturally disadvantaged preschoolers, which became known as the bereiter-engelmann preschool. So as we can see here, we have the book that they published, but unfortunately, I was not able to get a copy because you have to purchase it in Amazon. May bayad. So anyway, so what is the goal of this approach? The goal is to demonstrate the extent to which disadvantaged children or poor children could accelerate their learning beyond the performance of a middle-class students. Now, for middle-class children, school is usually a very comfortable place for them. So when the middle-class child, for example, comes to school, he already possesses a language that relates perfectly to that of the school. So what about yung disadvantaged child or disadvantaged children? How can they cope if they go to school? Because they don't have any background. So let's see later on. Now, I will be showing you a video of the disadvantaged children or the poor children. Who are they?
These are last chance children. All the social forces we are familiar with, poverty, ignorance, apathy, neglect, denial, and even hatred have been leveled against them. They have not developed any of the learning skills which will help them to make good lives for themselves. They are as much as a year behind children of the same age from luckier backgrounds. If the school they are now approaching fails them, it is not just a failure for today, but forever.
Yeah, so look, we have here the poverty. They were ignorant, they were neglected, they were denied, or even hated. Okay, so according to Bereiter and Engelmann, they highlight that language used in lower class homes is deficient. They describe lower class families as communicating by gestures, single words, and disjointed phrases. So as a result, the children fail to develop the necessary language skills. They grow up incapable of abstract thinking and unable to use language to explain, describe, inquire, or compare. So because of this, they are unable to take advantage of the opportunities that school offers. Now, we have here the philosophies. Instructional theory is a model of teaching which is teacher directed. And the focus is on reading, language, and mathematics, and also the precise examples sequences and high-paced questioning, extended practice skills. So the direct instruction method involves teaching from a tightly scripted curriculum delivered via direct instruction to the class. So for example, giving children small pieces of information and immediately asking them questions based on that information. While direct instruction is teacher directed instruction, it does not encompass all the possible varieties of teacher directed instruction. So here we are responsible. We are responsible for whatever children learns. Okay, so here we have the core beliefs. All children can be taught. If a child is not learning, it is due to a problem with the instruction. So yeah, we are responsible as teachers for whatever the children learn. So we cannot just take credit for what they did learn. We have to take credit for what they didn't learn or mislearned also. And the student respond together to a script used by the teacher. And the paradigm in this approach, they use model, lead, and test. So first you show them what the task is and how they're supposed to respond to it. Then you test to see if they can respond properly. It all happens very quickly. So let's see. So first we have here the learning environment. So as we can see in the picture, we have 5 children is to 1 teacher. For direct teaching in a smaller room, and for group teaching we have a bigger room. Next we have the schedule. So for 7 months, they have a class for 2 hours every day for weekdays, or maybe it depends. And it also revolves around a 20-minute lesson For example, 20 minutes in math, 20 minutes in reading, 20 minutes in music or in language, or functional times for eating or toileting. So this is for 7 months. Next, we have the children. So the children are divided into groups before the teacher starts the teaching session. Now, 3 to 4 participants are divided according to the skill of the children. And they are sitting in a semicircle of 1 or 2 rows, just like in the picture, without desk, okay, next to and facing the teacher. And also, the children, their level of curiosity and creativity low, and also they should be taught as high schoolers. So according to introduction cultural deprivation theorists, they argue that most of us begin to acquire the basic values, attitudes, and skills that are needed for educational success through primary socialization in the family. So, learning the language always starts at home, according to them. And many working class homes lack the books, educational toys, and activities that would stimulate a child's intellectual development. So, thus, children from such homes start school without having developed the intellectual skills needed to progress. So, how can they have educational books or educational toys? Because in the first place, they don't have money. They are underprivileged. So instead of going to school or learning this and that, they should, or maybe their families taught them na dapat they should know how to survive on their own, how to put food on the table, right? Okay, now let's move on here. We have the teachers. What are the roles of the teachers? So the teachers are very stern or should be stern when teaching. Use blackboard or whiteboard, projectors, or other visual aids used to stimulate children in the classroom. And also, as we have discussed earlier, refer to a script that includes carefully sequenced notes, questions, and prompts. Okay, so here, magmo-movie marathon tayo. Just kidding. So this video was produced in 1965 by the Anti-Defamation League of the Binay Bereth. It is a demonstration of the original bereiter-engelmann preschool at Colonel Wolfe School. So this is just a demonstration. Okay. So here, let us look at this one.
Let's hear you say it, Sam. Let's hear you say it once more. This is a spoon. Say spoon.
Listen.
Say spoon.
Okay. So see, the teacher is very stern when teaching. So this boy, he's 4 year old, and he had never been in school and have never been experienced any form of instruction. Now, Bereiter and Engelmann take the position that these children are held back by learning problems which can be corrected by teaching them certain language skills, and the teacher should be direct.
Is a spoon. Say spoon.
Listen.
Say spoon.
To the teacher is be direct.
What is this? This is a cat. Lisa, say it again. This is a cat. What is this? This is a bottle. Kids are pretty good. Let's really go now. Loud. This is a bottle. I heard everyone but you. Come on. This is a bottle. Oh.
See, As we can see in the video, the teacher uses objects or real objects, a blackboard, to stimulate the students or the children in the classroom.
These children
And now we have the materials. So this curriculum focuses on or in 3 areas: the literacy, language, and arithmetic. In the language teaching, children will answer questions involving pictures, objects, or letters questioned by the teacher. In the reading training naman, children need to look at the letters that are written and say back the letters from left to right. In the arithmetic teaching, children are taught to count forwards and backwards in groups. So, as we can see in the previous video, mabilis yung pagturo. I mean, the high-speed teaching captures and holds the children's basic motivation to learn. So they seem to respond with enthusiasm to the direct, challenging, dissenting adult approach.
A car, this is a car, this is a bus, this is a train. Let's all say that. This is a car, this is a car, this is a bus, this is a train. And all of these things take you places, and they are vehicles. Vehicles take you places. Let's all say that word. Vehicles. Let's hear you say it, Jeff. Vehicle, please. Vehicle. Oh, that's good talking. All right, children.
See, we have here the script. So we have this is a car, this is a bus, this is a train. So these are vehicles. The teacher is so fast. High-speed teaching. So as we can see, that's the students do not raise their hands, nor does the teacher call on any students individually. So instead, the students call out answers as soon as they have them, so that often many different students call out answers together.
You did a very good job. When you do a good job, I'll check your wagon. I don't think I can draw a station wagon very well, but I'll draw a taxi cab. How's that? We'll put stripes on the taxi cab. A bicycle. A bicycle. Does a bicycle take you places? Yeah. Is it a vehicle? Yeah. Yes. All right. Good. All right. Is this a vehicle? This is a chair. No. Is it a vehicle? No. Let's all say it. A chair is not a vehicle. The only thing
Okay. Is this a vehicle? This is a chair. A chair is not a vehicle. So not only the talking improves, but their thinking improves as well, with the ever more complex questions to which the teacher demands a response. So after nearly every question, the students respond by repeating the question and answer in unison. So something they have clearly been taught to do. Underlying this strategy is presumably the belief that all children should be expected to participate in some way in class.
all right, and I'm thinking of one more thing, and I'm going to write it here. This is a house. Is a house a vehicle? No. Why not? Because it doesn't have wheels on it. It doesn't have wheels on it. That's pretty good. And it won't take you places. All right, I want you to come up here.
Is a house a vehicle? And they have reasons why a house is not a vehicle. It's so cute lang. And here we can see na yung students or the children not only talks in the class but also improve their thinking.
What do you see, James? Say the whole thing. Isn't that good talking? Say it again. Very good. Kathy, how would you like to be the teacher? down right in your chair and be the teacher. Now, look, she's going to ask the question. What are these? Oh, let's see. Now be the teacher. What are these? What do you say? What are these? Look, how many cards you got? One. So what's the question? What is this? Let's say it again. What is this? This is a car. Tell me.
See, in the video, the child got a mistake. Yung sinabi niya nga, what are these? Pero isa lang yung car na hinahawakan niya. So in this part of the reading training, their ability to think is constantly improved. They must differentiate between one and several things. By asking questions, they must answer correctly. Okay, this is another example about yung preposition. Where is the car? The car is in the box. Where are the cars? The cars are in the box. You can also use other objects like cup. Where is the cup? The cup is on the table. And so on. Let's go on.
Thinking of vehicles.
Goodbye.
Okay, in this one, we have the arithmetic teaching or the mathematics. So in this video, as you can see, lalaki na siya. Because this was Siegfried Engelmann in his younger years. Now let us see how he teaches math in this kind of approach.
Huh? A plus 4? 12, so I just write it down like that. You make that 10? Oh, the 10's got to go over here?
40.
What do we have? Oh, 10 plus 30 equals 4.
Okay, so at one point, Engelmann makes a deliberate mistake. So a common strategy used by us teachers, and as we can see, 3 of the children run up from their seats to correct the mistake for him, which ends up being part of the fun of the lesson. And he also models how he responds to making a mistake and being corrected by the students. So it's no big deal. Right? So sa practice ko, this is what I do also. Like, I pretend to have mistakes or to don't know the answer just to make sure if the student is really listening to me or if the student is really cooperating or not. So I deliberately make mistakes kung tignan ko ba if nakikinig yung bata or hindi.
Oh, that's funny talk. Yep. Okay, and then what do we got? Yeah, 40 plus 10 equals?
50.
Yoo-hoo! So what do I have up here? I've got 50 plus 2 equals?
52.
So what should I put down here? 52. What's 38 plus?
Okay, so here, Engelmann pays careful attention to the language he uses. So there are no tricks, no shortcuts, and no mathematical imprecisions. For example, in working through the example of this one, 38 plus 14, he is careful to refer to each digit by its place value meaning. So instead of saying 3 plus 1, he says 30 plus 10. Right?
14.
Okay, now let's go on with the family. So the parents' educational background and economic condition meet the guidelines established by the Office of Economic Opportunity for the Head Start program. Now, they come from poor homes and of poorly educated parents, like the disadvantaged children. And they have a language and experiential background that is highly disparate from that of most children of the same age. who are from more prosperous homes and whose parents have more education. As background for the bereiter-engelmann program, it is important to state how the language and experiential background of the lower class child differs from that of his middle class peer, and why he is so poorly equipped when he arrives in first grade to begin learning conventional first grade material. Now, yung family, just like yung napanood ko na eyewitness documentary ni Cara David. I'm sorry, but I forgot the title. Um, the documentary was about a boy. He was an honor student. Tapos yung place nila is yung remote area, remote place, sa bukid. And kung pupunta siya sa school, he needs to walk kilometers before arriving sa school. And one day, like mga ilang weeks na, the teacher was curious bakit hindi na pumapasok itong bata na ito. So they visited the boy's home, and what they witnessed is that the boy was sa field nag-aararo. Farming. So let's be realistic na yung family, so the teacher or the school questioned the family, bakit hindi mo na pinapapasok yung anak mo sa school? And their reason was, it's just a waste of time bringing your child to school, na mas importante na they know how to survive on their own, like how to put food on the table or how to find food na para makasurvive every day. So, this is the reality that we have now and even before. And also, the critic to this approach, according to Engelman, sinabi niya ito sa first part ng video na they say that this kind of approach is like teaching Chinese beginners. And I agree with that critic kasi um this is my work. I am an online English teacher and most of my students are Chinese kids. And yeah, this is how I teach kids. Scripted lahat and my guide lang kami, and we have objectives, or we expect that this student should answer this way. So, here we go. These are the references. If you want to watch more videos, just click the link or I'll just send it to you later on. Thank you very much for listening. God bless everyone.